Good morning. Got a build here for my good mate's son who's going off to his school prom in a couple of weeks' time, and he'd like something classy to wear, so he's had a look at the various faces and hands and cases, etc. That are available, and he's come up with this bit of a combination, which is quite nice. I had just set the hands out for you to have a look at, but I've knocked them over. But essentially, we've got a Submariner case, an oyster strap, standard sort of fashion. Got a see-through back so you can see the movement working. He's got the Cyclops, which demands a adjuster date, so he doesn't get the sort of the day date, which are, you know, so the NH36 Seiko movement is so famous for. He's got a mil-dot bezel, and an NH35 movement, obviously. The hands are, really want to move those across the dial, but you can probably see that there's orange at the bottom of the hands. I'm just going to pick those up and put them somewhere safe, so probably on top of that bit of cardboard there while I get building. So they're safely tucked away. So we'll really whip through this one, and hopefully it's going to be a video that's not going to last much more than a quarter of an hour. So first job is snippy, filey on the face. So we leave the outliers away from 3 and 9 o'clock, and then we get that filed. Triangular file then. I've already done one side, as you can tell from the scratch marks, and that's that. That's the other side done. You soon lose the resistance and know that you've finished. So once we've got it filed, we just dib with the Watchmaker's Rodico, make sure it's nice and clean, and then we can pop that on the movement. And we're going to, now it's on the movement, I'm going to give it a good old clean. Make sure there's no dust and dirt on the next job. Then is the hands, and I've put some artificial light onto the job just to help me do that, and I'm just going to lower my dabber down, get a couple of non-metal tweezers ready, and I also need my hand pusher, which was pretty well under my nose. So I'll move the hands into view, and we'll just nick on. First little job obviously is to flick the date over. That's anti-clockwise. Well, that's clockwise. That should help us get us round to 12 o'clock. And see the date has started moving. Slowly, there we go, catchy monkey. So that's 12 o'clock. I want an hour hand now, which is the widest little thing. I can probably put the old face protector onto this dial and move that up to 12 o'clock because this dial's not fantastically protruding. So just see if I can push it on a little bit. Yeah, that's on a little bit. And then we'll try and get that round to 12 o'clock. Well, just slightly overdone that there. Take the protector off to line it up. Oh, do you know, that's just absolutely spot on where it is. So we'll push that down. Damn. So obviously I'm pushing it down and moved it just slightly off again. So I'll get a I'll just get the I mean, it's absolutely cock on, that is. Bit concerned. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll take it round to the next date change. Good, that's really good. Okay, I'll line the second hand up with the hour hand. Push that down. I say second hand, minute hand, that's what I mean. That's about cock on as well, isn't it? I don't think it needs to be on any harder either. It's on the top of the pinion there, I can see it. So it's not going to come off, it's not going to move or come off. So that's pretty brilliant. The second hand just needs to be the right way up on the Rodicoat, which is never that easy. It's obviously got a little protrusion on the underside, which always flips it up the other way. It will pop him on. I've got plenty of visibility of this. Well, we'll see. We'll push it in, see if the second hand turns, which it does. We jumped the minute hand a bit, didn't we? But I'm just going to check the clearances between the minute and the hour as well there. So the second hand's working beautifully. The only thing I'm not really loving, oh, it's gone, there we go, thank God for that. The thing that I wasn't really loving then was, it sort of seemed to me that that it wasn't rewinding. It's funny, those orange hands look as if they're leaning as well because of the orange on the... They're not, they're absolutely as flat can be. They've got plenty of clearance, which is great. So that's actually, yeah, job well done. Next job is clean the face by getting the Rodico over it, get all the hairs and various detritus of being in this room off it. That's great. So I'll do the same with the inside of the case, and what I'll probably use is a bit of a blast of compressed air out of this thing here. You'll be able to hear it in the background. That's excellent. And then Rodico the inside. And what I'll do then is I'll check it under my magnifying glass to make sure that there's absolutely no grains of dirt under it. And then we'll pop the movement in the case. Okay, I'm satisfied that everything's absolutely as clean can be now. So it's simply a case of offering the movement into the case and popping that upside down, and then just I'll pop the crown in first, just to sort of square it all up, and then that's good. And then we'll just use this tool to make sure that the movement's down and against the, there we go, against the chapter ring as best we can. That feels a little high there, doesn't it? So what I'll do is I'll I'll take the crown out and spin this down onto the movement, because I think what we're going to find, just the way that the case is manufactured, that this is going to press down onto the plastic ring and make sure that the movement is firmly seated. So I'll whip the crown out, because that's the next job anyway, and then we'll just kind of fully case her up. There's no gasket in there obviously, so that's going to need attending to later, but and then we check that for fit. So is the dial sufficiently against the chapter ring? Oh, well, we've definitely got a problem, because that second hand is actually too long. Would you fucking Adam and Eve it? That is typical, isn't it? You know, a build that's going so well, and a second hand that went on in a, like the like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I couldn't believe how well that second hand went on. It was just typical that in actual fact it was all in vain, and that second hand is actually is too long. It goes right up to the edge of the dial, and clearly we need a bit of we need it to be just slightly shorter, so that is a slight pest. So what we'll do is we'll find another orange second hand that's going to go with it, and we'll swap them over. God, that is a pest. I'll have the joy of trying to get a second hand off, and then I'll have to clean it all again and so it's going to be right. So I've been through the process of just whipping that other hand off, finding a different one and putting the different one on. I found a white one. I think it looks pretty cool. It really suits actually, because it, you know, it says something different, doesn't it? Which, you know, an odd hand often does. So mixing and matching, as long as they do match, and that one does, obviously, with the white in the middle of the other hands, and of course the very white dial markers. Yeah, it all goes really nicely, that. So I'll give the face another clean. I'll just check the case as well, and then we'll get back onto it. So we're all clean, and now I'll offer it back up into the case. Movement back into the case, and hopefully the movement will sort of seep better into the case with the I was a bit worried about the way it had gone in, and it was obviously just sat on the on that second hand, which was keeping the dial really away from the chapter ring, but that looks perfect, so that's good news. So I'll whip the crown back out, because that'll obviously be the next job to do. Take that out with these plastic tweezers. That's the lever pressed down and the thing out. I think we'll just whip the bezel on next. Move the movement holder out of the way. We've still got to do the crown measurement, but I'll just pull the oh, that's not so good. That's it. Beautiful. Sorry about the dog. Eggnog's still helpfully making sure that the intruders okay, so we'd press the dial against its anti-rotation as good as possible, and then lined it up, and then just press the bezel on, and that should be that. I'll get a cloth and just go around it while I do it. But that's it's a lovely bezel actually, that. I like the mill dot rather than the sort of standard Rolexy. And as you can see, that's got a nice chink to it. Okay. Next job is measure the crown. So vernier calipers out, get them against the edge of the case, press the crown down onto it. Sure enough, it's going to be a 6mm, that, because they're always 6mm. I might as well just pre-cut them all. Okay, so that's 6mm. I'll snip that off and bring that back to you. Okay, so that's 6mm snipped off at exactly the right spot. I'll just file the end of that. In fact, as it happens, it was a very clean cut, and I only had to give it the lightest of little touches with the file to get that in there. Okay, so the crown's on nice and tight, so we'll just pop her in there. I'll put the back on, as you can probably tell. Okay, so it's in. Oh, it's winding. Turn that over. Anti-clockwise, should do the date. You can't quite see it because of the hard, but it's working. And then backwards and forwards to make sure that it all lines up nicely. Oh, it's just fucking off, isn't it? Bastard. Oh, I'm going to have to do something about that, aren't I? Because actually the boy's father is not going to be impressed with that. Wants to be brought on 10 minutes, doesn't it? Yeah, well. Some you win, some you lose. Well, after minimal messing about, we've managed to solve that, so that's awesome, and that looks pretty cool. So the very last job really is to put this strap on, and what I'd done was move that out of the way then for a second. I'd just put some tape over to stop the things falling out. That's the correct way. So that one wants to be at, that lug there wants to be at 12 o'clock. So let's just pop that in, and I'll show you how to make a mess of this. It's always a little bit funny. Get one of my tools to do that. This one looks appropriate. Okay. Doesn't feel as if that lugs in, does it? That's it. Oh. Slightly dicey thing is that this strap didn't come off this watch. Oh no, we are located. We are located. That's great. So just do it with the other one. This one's likely to be a little more difficult with it being this strap being absolutely over it, but we'll see. In. There's that. It's not quite in at that side now, typical. There we go. And that's in. And there we have one finished article. Put it right way up, maybe. There you go. Another one finished. I'll just spin the bezel round so you can get the final view of the... Oh. I overdid that because there was some dust had caught my eye, which I dare say is getting picked up quite heavily in the camera, so I'll just wipe that clean. And there it is, the finished article. Looks pretty good, so I'll take some photographs of that and get it on the site. Thanks very much, and see you next time.